Hello students, I'm Pooja Chatwani. I take BCR, Business Communication Reporting, for CA Foundation students. I'm associated with Yashas Academy. So Unacademy has come out with the new CA Iconic program. It's a flagship program for CA Foundation aspirants, just like all of you all. It has a live mentoring platform, which would include personal coaching, doubt solving, evaluated test series, printed books, industry expert sessions, and Discord. Along with that, you would even get live classes, weekly tests, study materials, unlimited access, and structured courses. We even provide one-to-one live mentoring in Iconic, which is just launched. The evaluated test series is the most beautiful part about this course because you will be able to learn it through step-by-step process and evaluate yourself by 40, 80, 100% test series. The Iconic subscription starts with as low as 2,417 per month. You can use the code Yashas Live, which will be very helpful. You can take foundation and intermediate combo courses also for which you can use the code Yashas Live. So students, let's start with today's session. Today, I'm going to help you out with one of the most crucial and the base topics of English grammar, that is subject-verb agreement. Now, students, what is subject-verb agreement? You need to understand that when I speak of subject-verb agreement, I am speaking of a noun or a pronoun in subject. So, to take you through the basics, here is a small help. Okay, so let's understand, students, what is a subject. Subject is one who does action. When I speak of action, I mean a verb. Subject here can be anything. It can be a noun or a pronoun. Now, this subject works on the verb, but this subject and verb needs to be in an agreement. And that is called as subject-verb agreement. My friends, this is the topic where most of the students and even non-native English speakers falter. So when I speak of subject-verb agreement, a lot of you might not be able to trace it from the base that we might have learned when we were kids. Okay, so if I had to put it down for you, it would come something in this fashion. Have you heard of something called as first person, second person, and third person? When I speak of first person, second person, and third person, I am even speaking of singular and plural. This discussion is only for subject. On this basis, I'll help you which verb to be used to make sure that your sentence is agreed with subject and verb both. Okay, so when I speak of singular first person, I'm speaking of what exactly? I'm speaking of I. First person, I talk about myself first. Second person, I'm talking about you. So I, you. And both of us talk about your best friend or your mother or your father or your sibling, then we are talking about someone who is not part of the conversation, and that falls under he, she, and it. The plural to these are pretty easy. The plural to I is going to be we. Like when I say I go to college, for plural we use we go to college. When I say you go to college, we do not use they go to college. If I'm talking to 3 students at a stretch, I will tell them you all go to the college. So your you is same in singular and plural. Your he, she, it will become they. He goes to the college, they go to the college. Now that is the basic of your subject. if you understand subject, only then can we proceed to verb. Now, when I speak of verb, there are two major verbs that you should be focusing on. One is going to be your helping verb, and the second one is going to be your main verb. Let's start with our first tense, simple present tense. So students, when I speak of simple present tense, you need to have a base idea that our simple present tense is like play, sing, dance, love, or any kind of verb in their base form. Base form which does not take past tense, ed, or which does not take future, will. So that is called as your base form. So students, when I speak of base form, let me help you that everyone except he, she, it will take the base form only. So when I speak of I, we, you in singular, you in plural, or when I speak of even they, all of these will take the base form. That is verb like play, sing, dance, love. But, he, she, it, I'm talking about third person singular, will take what? Third person singular will take verb in its base form plus s. Like, for an instance, plays. Ram plays football. Sheena sings well. Radha dances well. Neeta loves him. Whenever it is he, she, it, they will take what? They will take a verb plus s. This is subject-verb agreement. So whenever your subject is any of these, these are called as your verb. Whenever your subject is any of this, these will be used as your verb. But this is only for simple present tense. So if I had to place it over here, he, she, it in simple present tense will always take verb plus s. So he, she, it is always going to be the black sheep of the family, will always take something different from what others take. You want a proof? I'll give you one more proof. Hang on. Let's talk about simple present tense again, but this time negative sentence. When I speak of negative sentence, what exactly happens? When I speak of negative sentence, you cannot write a sentence like this. I not play football. This sentence is absolutely incorrect. But if you had to make it negative, if you have to make present tense negative, you will have to take help of words like do and does. So when I speak of do and does, my friend, what does do and does do? What does do and does do? Again, the same concept. He, she, it. The black sheep of the family takes does. But everyone except he, she, it takes what? Takes do. No, ma'am, we don't believe you. We need a proof. Why not? Let's use a beautiful proof. Okay. I don't play football. He doesn't play football. Okay, let's try one more. They don't like Ram. He doesn't like Ram. You need to understand over here, because my subject is not he, she, it. It is taking what? It is taking do. Because my subject is he, she, it takes does. The same concept even applies for the question format. So when I speak of question format, what do I exactly do? For question format, let's make the same sentence into question. Don't I play football? Negative. Question. Negative question. Positive question. Do I play football? I cannot use play I football. So I take help of what? I take help of helping verb. Like I had explained you, we have one helping verb and one main verb for negative sentences and for question sentences. So for negative and for question sentences, which can be positive or negative, I need to take help of what? I need to take help of helping verb. And what is the helping verb that I take help of? I take help of do, does, do and does in simple present and did in past tense. I hope this is getting pretty much clear. Okay, now let's use the same example for do, does, did in he, she, it format. Negative question. He doesn't play football. Doesn't he play football? Positive question. Does he play football? So students, look at this. Helping verb, main verb. Helping verb, main verb. I hope you all are getting the point. At the end of the day, we need to understand that in our sentences, there needs to be a subject, and in that agreement, there can be a verb. When I speak of subject agreeing to verb, I divide the subject into two parts. First, he, she, it. Second part, everyone except he, she, it. For he, she, it, in simple present tense, it takes verb plus S. In simple present negative sentence, it takes does. However, everyone else takes what? Only the base verb without the S and uses do. That is my subject verb agreement. Now, students, let's understand for perfect tense. So when I speak of perfect tense, I have two of them. I have three of them, present, past, future. I'm not considering future right now because future always takes a will. Future is never confusing. Your past is also never confusing. But when I speak of present perfect, have a look, be careful. When I speak of present perfect tense, what exactly happens? So I hope you guys are aware for present perfect, you need to use have or has. Again, the same concept. We divide it into two parts. Everyone except he, she, it. He, she, it. Everyone will take have, but he, she, it will take has. I hope you guys are aware that with have or has, you need to use V3. So when I speak of V3, I mean past participle. Let's take an example. The same example that we have been using, let's use the same one. I don't play football. I make it present perfect. I have played. I'm making it as a positive sentence because here you have the helping verb. You can easily make it negative or in question format. That is not my concern. I have played football. Ram has played football. So I always tell you, who is the black sheep of the family? It is he, she, it. That's your V3. Please do not take it as past tense. Do not get confused. Okay. Now, let me give you one more example. I have cooked the meal. They have cooked the meal. You have cooked the meal. We have cooked the meal. You could use either of these subject. Sita, he, she, it, has cooked the meal. So if you again look at it carefully, have, has with your V3s. That is your past participle. So students, again, who is the black sheep of the family? He, she, it. So if I had to place it down to you over here, he, she, it takes has, but everyone except he, she, it takes have. Where does this come into picture? Present perfect. Present Perfect. And that, my friends, is the understanding of our beautiful topic called as subject-verb agreement. So students, when I speak of subject-verb agreement, understand your subject well. If you understand your subject well, you will know which verb it takes. Always remember who is the black sheep of the family, who is the odd one out. They are he, she, it. He, she, it can be also used as a name, like a proper noun. They are still the third party. They are not the party of the conversation. So that is what is subject-verb agreement. Students, subject-verb agreement is pretty much different from subject-verb-object. They are not the same thing. Your subject-verb agreement is a non-native mistake that you make. So if you are not a native English speaker, the basic mistake that you make is of doing subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb-object is a sentence structure. So if you need to make a sentence, you need to understand that in your sentence, you should have a subject, verb, and object. Like our example, she plays football. Plays is your verb, she is your subject, football is your object. Object is on which the verb acts. So playing what? Playing football, and that is your object. So these are very different. Subject-verb agreement is different from subject-verb-object. I hope students, this is clear, easy to go, ready to understand that our subject-verb agreement is the base of our English structure. So students, I take a goodbye here, and I'll see you in the next grammar session with something more useful like the same one. Please let me know in the comments section if you really need something else in grammar that you want me to teach you, some basics of grammar, which is kind of being a hindrance for your beautiful English speaking. Thank you. Bye-bye. Tata. Shave care.